But Travis, he almost dies in this one.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard the news.
It sounds like a movie script.
No.
Like he almost died.
He actually almost died. He jumped from a 40-story building to start off the video.
In a car or
base
just
jump.
himself?
Base jump.
Okay, base jump, yeah.
And basically, the canopy or his parachute collapsed, like last minute. It was some wind or the turn was too aggressive or something, and he fell a couple stories.
Yikes.
And it was such a loud sound. I'm never going to forget this sound. It was
What
in
did
downtown.
he fall onto?
He fell onto grass, and that's what saved him, I feel like. Because he fell so hard, he bounced 3 times, and he fell so hard that the sound it made, it sounded like a bomb going off.
What's up, folks? Welcome to the Smoking Tire Podcast, your favorite car podcast in the world. As always, it helps us if you rate, review, subscribe, like, do all those things that you can do to help keep us high up in those rankings. We really appreciate it. And of course, go to that Patreon, patreon.com/the Smoking Tire Podcast, if you want to be even more involved in the show or never have to listen to me read ads ever again. And speaking of which, today's episode is brought to you in part by Manscaped. Love that Manscaped. It's Christmas season. And if you're naughty or nice, it's the season to perform. And that means another Manscaped ad copy where they find new ways to talk about your balls and how to trim them. Manscaped's best-selling product is the Performance Package 4.0. It's at the top of every man's wish list this year. They sent me one, and boy, am I having a good time with it. It comes with the Lawnmower Body Trimmer, the best trimmer on the market for your balls, butt, and body, and the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer. I'm feeling that one. I got that Arab ear hair. When I was a kid, and I saw my grandpa with the ear hair really like coming out of his ear like a bramble, I was like, that'll never be me. Guess what? Turned 40, it was fucking me. And now I need a quality ear and nose hair trimmer, and the Weed Whacker is awesome. Let's not forget their famous liquid formulations, the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and the Crop Reviver Ball Toner to maximize your ball hygiene routine. I don't know what they're paying the people who write this copy, but they are excellent and should get a raise. Get the Performance Package now to receive their 2 free gifts, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. Dads can't stop talking about this. The teens secretly buy this, and the women will love your well-cared-for balls. Now, here are the picks for Manscaped Surefire Win stocking stuffers. Number 1 is the Manscaped 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. Just launched. I've got it in my guest room shower, and my homie Marty came in for my birthday weekend and said very nice things about it. The Manscaped Infused Cologne Body Wash, and that one is right alongside it. The Shears 2.0 Luxury 4-piece Nail Kit. I'm going to use that tonight before I go on my trip up north with the wife, the little romantic getaway. The Crop Mops Ball Wipes for your stanky balls, and they wrote out stanky on this, which I love. And of course, the Manscaped Signature Cologne. Everything is vegan, cruelty-free, dye-free, sulfate-free, and paraben-free, so you know their products are legit, and your nuts will be fresh. Make sure to hurry over to that site and ensure these wild gifts show up before the holiday season. While you're at it, get 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com/tire. That's manscaped.com/tire. 20% off and free shipping, whether it's for your partner, dad, brother, friend, or yourself. Get them something they'll actually use and definitely get as much of a laugh as we got from this ad copy. Manscaped.com/tire. And since you're taking care of your balls, might as well take care of the rest of your health. Athletic Greens is our sponsor this week. That AG1. I love it. You drink it every morning, throw it in with some water, chug it down, and it handles your nutrition pretty much for the day. With 1 scoop of AG1, you're getting 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens. Funny, nothing about your balls on this one, but it's good for you. Helps you start your day right. The special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, nervous system, immune system, your energy, recovery, your focus, and aging. Everything at once. I take it first thing in the morning before my coffee. Real easy. 1 scoop, water, chug, boom. It's good for my digestion. Keeps my stomach in check. Good energy, too, without the buzz of caffeine. Tastes all right, too. A little bit tropical, pretty mild, not super, like if you've ever had like superfood stuff that's like gross or kombucha, it's not like that. It's pretty mellow, very easy to drink, very easy to incorporate it into your routine. Lifestyle friendly, right? Whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free, it's free of everything. Less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no chemicals or artificial everything, and it still tastes good. It's great. Athletic Greens was created when the founder experienced a ton of gut health issues, ended up on a complicated supplement routine to recover, and it cost him $100 a day. He created Athletic Greens after experiencing how difficult it was to create an optimal nutrition routine on your own. So you can get the benefit of this dude's hard work, but just jump to the finish line, right? It's recommended by professional athletes, trusted by leading health experts, and it is good for you. So right now, reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just 1 scoop and a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills or supplements to look out for your health. And Athletic Greens is making it easy, giving you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/tire. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/tire to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Before we move on with our show, let me tell you about the fact that there is a national platelets shortage. It's a little bit different from giving blood. When you give platelets, it's not quite the same thing as blood. There's actually fewer restrictions. Your blood type doesn't matter. Whether you've done some drogas tends to not matter if you're doing platelets. Platelets are a little more flexible, but there is a national platelets shortage. The donation process is fundamentally the same. You get an IV and blood comes out of you, but they then spin it up and separate the platelets, and it's really, really important for people that have or are recovering from leukemia and other blood-related disorders. So I really want to encourage you guys to get out there and donate. You can also become a bone marrow donor at bethematch.com. Same kind of deal, very easy. They don't drill your bones anymore. It's now done through your blood with stem cells. It's just a basic IV. You can go to bethematch.com. And if you happen to be in Los Angeles and you want to be a extra friend to this podcast, my brother-in-law, John Stein, is suffering from leukemia right now, and they have a shortage on his fucking platelets. He personally needs platelets. And if you are in Los Angeles and you can get over to the City of Hope Cancer Hospital, which is in Duarte, a suburb of LA, you can assign a platelet donation directly to John Stein, and I would certainly appreciate that. But if you can donate platelets anywhere in America, there is a national shortage right now. So do a little good in the holidays. It don't cost you nothing but your time. And on with the show. All right, folks, Larry Chen, one of the best automotive photographers working today, is in the building. He's brought us some goodies from Type S, his new line of accessories for taking pictures out in the field. He even brought us a refrigerator, which is kind of crazy. We talk about his personal rotating stable of project cars. We talk about cameras and technology. We talk about Pikes Peak, which was the last place I saw him. We talk a lot about the new Travis Pastrana Gymkhana film, which he was heavily involved in, and a whole lot more questions from the Patreon. It's our pal Larry Chen on the Smoking Tire Podcast.
So here's the thing is they, I feel like, single-handedly brought Underglow back, like made it cool.
Who did? Type S?
Type S.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Is Underglow back?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
Really?
in drifting, hardcore.
Oh,
Big time.
for drifting, right.
Yeah, I like car shows, but drifting is where I feel like it's the most accepted because it plays with the smoke. And
Yeah.
interacts with the tire smoke.
Yeah,
and
sure.
It's just the whole point of drifting is to be showy.
Yeah.
Right. No, I hadn't thought about drifting, but like, yes, that's true.
Yeah.
It does. What's this one?
So this one is my new video and photo light. So you could see.
So Larry brought us gifts. For
Larry
everyone
brought
listening.
gifts.
It's
He also
actually
brought us
like-
a fucking refrigerator.
lot of
gift.
refrigerator. Hey, everybody needs an off-road fridge. Or
I
whatever,
do.
You know.
We'll figure out what we're gonna do with that, but
So this is a video and photo light.
cool.
We
It's
use it
the Larry
for-
Chen signature model.
Yeah, so we use it for vlogging or light painting, or anytime there's some production where you could just keep it in your pocket and it's just extra
It's
light.
nice. It's aluminum. It's like real tough. You could drop it.
Yeah,
Probably good
it's
to go.
CNC'd.
Yeah.
It acts as a power bank if you need it for like emergencies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
But-
yeah. Look, DC in out.
But what's cool is it does RGB, so you can choose any color in the color spectrum, but you can also change the color temperature depending on what you're shooting.
What do I use? FN. Oh, there it is. Look.
Yeah, so you can change the color temperature. But you can also use it for different any video or photo production.
Wow, that's pretty awesome,
Yeah.
Larry.
The point is just to make something that's like a good stocking stuffer. That's something like easy.
That's real cool.
Because I'm honestly tired of getting those damn mugs that look like lenses for Christmas. Like that's what you get if you're a photographer.
Yeah.
People get you. That's like, oh, this is a fun gag
That's
gift.
funny.
But
I
they
had
don't
one of
realize.
those.
Yes, they don't realize it's the 10th one I've gotten.
Yeah. This is really nice.
No, it's a fun thing. But
Wow.
I just figured every time I
How much collab did you have on this item? Do they make a non-Larry Chen version, or is this just you?
So they wanted to work with me because of the car side of things, right? So Type S, like I was saying, they brought Underglow back in terms of in car culture, because before when Fast and the Furious came out, Underglow was just a bunch of like neon tubes and stuff. It was not.
I had that shit.
It wasn't very well made, and it wasn't very universal, and it was like
What was
very
the company?
custom.
Phantom? Was it Phantom that did it?
I don't even know, but
oh no, it was Street Glow. It was called Street Glow.
But now, after all this time, technology is just so much better with LEDs. It's so easy to install. Plus, on top of that, just for car culture, there's a couple ways to kind of interact with a car when it's just parked there. Like if you have airbags, I think it's super cool to dump a car right on the ground. But why not just dress it up with something like lights? It's one of those things that just comes around, right? Like it was cool when Fast and Furious came out. Then everybody had it. Then it wasn't cool anymore. But now I feel like it's cool.
Well, it was cool right before Fast and Furious came out.
Yeah.
That's when I had it. I had it in '97
It's like a hot and
on my
nights.
first car, on my Subaru Legacy GT.
Yeah.
I had it on my car, and then Fast and Furious came out in 2000, and I was like, "Get this shit out of here! It's jumped the shark."
Not cool anymore.
No, but it was literally like neon tubes.
Yeah.
And now what is it? Strips?
It's LED strips,
LED
and they're
strips,
moldable.
right.
You can
Yeah.
contour to the bumper or
Right.
the underbody. Yeah, and you can control it with your phone, and you can make crazy designs and stuff. Whatever it like blinks or rainbow color, whatever.
It's like
Yeah,
accent lighting
yeah.
for your house, especially if it's a car that's parked at a parking lot, like for a car show.
Yeah.
Like you can just accent the wheels and the tires and the brakes and stuff. And I don't know, it's a fun thing to do.
Yeah, I put it on my SEMA car. So I built a GR86 for the Toyota SEMA booth this year, which was Ford's booth, which was the biggest booth at the SEMA show. And everybody, including the people at HKS, like looked at the car and looked at where it's placed, and they're like, how did you sneak the riciest car into the Toyota booth? It's like ridiculous because it has underglow. It's like rainbow colors. It's a drift car, and it's just like out of place. It's the only tuner car in the entire booth.
Was it the only?
Yes,
it was the only tuner car?
one. Yeah.
How did you do that?
I don't know. They just wanted me to build this GR86, so I figured, hey, let's just do something within my skill level, within my power. So we didn't go wide body or anything. We didn't cut into the car, but we just did every single bolt-on possible for this car, including the HKS supercharger. First one ever.
Did you get to keep the car?
So we're going to use the car for 4 years before they have to crush it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Dollar cars are the shit.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing is now I have a car that I can drift. I can take to the track.
Yeah.
And
Then you buy a Z?
yeah, well, the Z was basically for me to practice to get to this point.
Oh, okay.
You know, so I wanted to get into drifting because I think I talked to you guys about it last time I was here in January. I've been shooting drifting for 17 years, and I'm just tired of watching other people have fun. And I just wanted to finally have fun myself. There's obviously a reason why people are doing it. And you know, what you were saying about I think Audi let you burn off a set of tires in the new R8.
Oh, yeah,
right?
that was fun.
That is the most fun thing.
Yeah, it is.
It is so dumb and it's so wasteful, but man, is it fun.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to learn, and I wanted to learn properly. And then I learned a lot with the Z, how to drive and how to set up a car, basically. And I've applied pretty much all that to this, and which has allowed me to build a proper car for Toyota.
How's the supercharger?
Supercharger's good. It's kind of what the chassis needed, honestly. You know, the main complaint that people have with GT86 FRS and then now the GR86 is that just it doesn't have enough power. You know, even though there's a bump in power, I think
The new one's definitely better.
yeah, over 40 horsepower.
Yeah, yeah.
But
And no dip in the middle.
no dip in the middle, and then
torque hole.
this supercharger on 91 octane. When I get the piggyback from HKS, it'll make 275 horsepower to the crank. When I run 95 or 100 octane, it'll allow for 300 horsepower to the crank. In Japan, because you can get 98 at the pump, with the HKS FCON 1 piggyback, they make 300 horsepower all day.
You can get like R98 at the pump?
No, 98 in Japan.
Yeah, they have Ron over
Yes,
there, right?
that's, That's what I'm saying. So like if I get either 95 or 100 here,
Yeah.
then I can make 300 to the crank.
Is it it's a centrifugal design?
It's
it a
it's not a
Rotrex?
Roots. It's not a Roots. It is a centrifugal.
Is it a Rotrex?
I think it's a Rotrex.
Okay, yeah.
It's not the Roots like type where it goes on top.
No,
of it.
yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like a snail. It's a
Yeah,
snail.
yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't make that much boost. It's maybe about 8 PSI, but it's just enough to kind of wake up that motor.
Yeah, I've driven ones with Rotrex on them. They're cool as fuck.
Yeah.
They're really nice.
And honestly, like you look at this and I tell people like it cost $85,000 to build this thing, including all the parts, not including labor. So with labor, it was over 100. And
That's expensive.
yeah, and people look at it and they're like, what a waste of money. But I'm like, do you know how much these things cost? You know, like building a car is expensive.
Hell yeah, it is.
Just seats, brakes, you know, the brakes alone were at $6,800.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
Supercharger's probably like 10 G's.
actually the supercharger's not bad. It was 55, I think.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad, but like every little thing adds up, all the carbon bits, and you get to $80,000, including the car. I think I put in the car for $29,000.
Yeah.
It gets up there pretty quick.
Yeah.
You know, but then we play the game of, oh, of course we could have got this. Yeah, but that's not the point. You know, I wanted to show literally this is the catalog for this car. Everything is on here.
Sure.
You know, the point is that most people would just pick and choose a couple things for their own car, for their own build, and that's the fun part about it. Or you can go ham like this.
This is, did you leave the rear tires the stock size?
No, so they
Wider?
are a little wider, not by much.
Yeah.
So I'm actually getting a set of wheels made for it from Motegi for me to actually go do proper time attack. So I'll probably fit 255s on there, but right now it's running 225s.
Okay.
So-
is it set up for drifting or for grip driving right now?
Both. It can do both. Right
Is
now,
that no angle kit then, right?
Right now, it has an angle kit and it has an e-brake that's
Okay.
in line. So I can drift it, but as soon as I switch it to grip, I have to get rid of the angle kit for
Yeah.
safety, and I have to get rid of the inline e-brake. Because
Right.
with the inline e-brake, you cannot have ABS.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise it's going to be like, why is the rear locked up and why is the front not locked up?
Yeah. But could you you could install a drift handbrake if you wanted.
It does.
And then,
it does have a drift handbrake. So it has a hydraulic e-brake But what it's doing is it's like
It's using the rear calipers.
Yes, it's
right,
using the
right.
rear
But if you
caliper.
install a second set of rear calipers, you
Yes.
could then still do time attack, and it wouldn't because it's a standalone.
Exactly.
Right?
I can do that, but at the time, nobody made a kit, and just recently, GK Tech came out with a kit that allows you to have both and retain the stock parking brake.
Oh.
That's really important.
A lot of handles going to go fucking going on in the middle there.
It's like a Unimog at that point. There's just so
it's
many
like so many
handles.
levers here. Yeah.
No.
Is it fun to drive?
So much fun. And, just from what we've learned, and we took it to the track before SEMA just to prove that it was actually a working drift car, it worked right off the gate. Right out of the box, it worked, and it honestly surprised us. Just because I guess it wasn't something that was super complicated, and the stock vehicle actually drifts pretty good.
Yeah. If you put the shitty tires on it, the stock car drifts great.
It's Prius tires essentially, right? So
with optional PS4S, which that takes away some of the driftiness.
yeah, but for what it is, I honestly, in my opinion, it's the first modern Toyota that's a pretty much good drift car out of the box. I had a chance to drift the new manual Supra. I don't know. Did you have a chance to drive it yet?
We get it in 2 weeks.
Oh, you guys are going to like it.
Really?
The only thing that I'm missing from it is that there's no handbrake, right? So it's just an electronic parking brake. So that kind of limits the drift abilities of it a little bit. You can modify it.
Ford put the synthetic handbrake in the new Mustang?
Yep.
You seen that?
No, I didn't see that.
Ford put is it stock or is it through performance parts?
I believe it was stock on the new Mustang.
I think
that's
the
coming
new
out
generation
in,
Mustang has a quote handbrake that controls an electronic rear
Von
brake.
Gittin was testing it on Instagram
That
like
is
2 days ago.
So cool.
Yeah,
that's not gonna work.
the drift. I would say Ford drift brake. Yeah, world's first electronic. No, that's not right. There it is. Here's the 2024 Mustang's electronic drift brake works. Yeah. So it's a handle that looks like that,
That's pretty cool.
and it's connected to the computer. So it's
I think
drift brake by wire.
It's like, because everything is brake by wire, it might be mimicking what yours does. It's like an inline brake system, but it just tells the computer in the back to activate the brake.
Interesting.
I don't know. If it works as well as we want it to, that would be amazing. I'd
would
be
be
shocked,
so cool.
but it'd be so great.
Yeah, and like a Mustang is a really good example, especially the previous generation, of an amazing drift car out of the box.
Yeah.
It does everything. Has so much power too.
Yeah.
All you need is angle, honestly, at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're this thing should be kind of. I hope it works. Sometimes this kind of like tech like sort of works and sort of doesn't. Like the Focus RS drift mode would only work in certain kind of circumstances. But like I don't know. But I'm into this thing. 86 drift cars are sweet.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
they're really cool, and I'm just happy to have another car that I can drive, because I made the promise to myself that I just need to drive more. That's my true love, and I know it's the same way for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough though when you're working at racetracks and all that kind of stuff, like, and you have a day off, like you're not always going, you know what I want to do right now is go drive for
more.
3
Yeah.
more hours,
Yeah.
That was why I got rid of my Safari car, because it was like, to go enjoy that thing in the dirt, it's like 2 hours each way, and then whatever you're doing out there. And on my days off, I wasn't like, I'm not thinking about going to the desert right now.
Well, you had a chance to enjoy it.
I
Drifted
did.
a little bit. I had
I
a
did.
chance to
Great
drift it a
photos.
little bit too.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, the car ruled.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the Dakar in next month, January.
No way.
Yeah, in
Really?
Morocco.
Really?
Yeah.
What are you going to do with it? You're going to
It's
like
the
just
launch.
follow
It's
it?
the car launch. No, not the Dakar Rally, the 911.
Oh, okay.
The new
Yeah,
911
yeah, yeah.
Dakar. Yeah,
You
not
know,
the same as the Dakar
It's interesting
Rally.
because they jumped on the whole Safari bandwagon, and good for them. Obviously the market is there. What they don't realize is the 911s, especially like the turbos, they're such good off-road vehicles already.
Yeah.
So my buddy BJ Baldwin, he has that 992 Turbo S.
Mm-hmm.
He just took it out in the dunes, and I have pictures of it in the dunes just shredding.
Whoa.
Really?
Yeah.
Just stock?
Just stock. 100% stock. 100% stock.
If you're
Like,
BJ Baldwin, you can do that.
yeah, you wouldn't believe, that this was just a stock vehicle. It
That's
just
sick.
without ride height, it was just whatever, going through the
Holy
village.
shit.
I mean, David Donner, you know, second overall Pikes Peak in a
cars
basically
are crazy.
stock car.
Yeah, so this was your first time going to Pikes Peak after us talking about it for so many years.
Yeah.
It must have been such an experience for
And
you
I
guys,
didn't
huh?
even get to give you a goddamn bacon, egg, and cheese after talking
I
about.
really wanted one, but also, did you go to the top?
We went to the top on the first day.
Got it. Okay,
Yeah.
you at least got to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We well, excuse me. We went to the top of the
Yeah.
mountain
Right.
in the afternoon just to like look around.
Yeah.
We went to the starting area for the upper section
Yes.
on the first day.
Got it.
Yeah.
So this next year, if you go again, you should come with me one of the days just
I
to see
should.
what it's like to shoot the event.
I mean, it's probably just like cold.
It's very cold. It's definitely, there's some suffering, but I mean, don't you want to have these pictures that you shot yourself of the race?
I mean, maybe. I was having fun. I mean, we were recording podcasts and making food for people. We learned that if you make food for a race official, you can then do anything you want after that.
Yeah.
They're like, I was like, listen, here's a bacon, egg, and cheese. Can I park my truck immediately next to the start line? And they're like, oh yeah, whatever, man, whatever you want, you know, cover the bacon, egg, and cheese, you
Yeah,
know.
there's not the best food up
And
there.
it's hard to, as for your first year, it's like hard to figure out like where to go and when. And so like, yeah, I would follow you for a day for sure.
Yeah, just for a session. It's only 2.5 hours or so.
Yeah.
I think that would be kind of fun.
It would be. And we didn't really realize that like, you know, wherever you go, you're there.
Yeah.
You know, that's where you are for that day.
Right.
And we also recorded 3 podcasts, which was, I mean, it wasn't I don't want to call it a mistake because it was fun and it was like the thing we were doing, but the audience doesn't need 3 podcasts. The audience needs one really good podcast. And so if we don't have to focus so much on the recording aspect of it next year. We can just do one strong show and that'll be that.
Yeah, no, that sounds.
I saw the photos that you've been posting. Some of them are amazing. I mean,
Yeah, and the thing is, you only get to see that during race week. You know?
Yeah.
Sunrise with these amazing cars, amazing backdrop. It's just crazy that it only happens a couple days out of the year.
Were you able to get any shots that were worthwhile on the foggy race day?
No, well, foggy race day, I was actually at the starting line.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was at the starting line because it's kind of when I'm able to get the most emotion and, you know, people sending their drivers off and, you know, tire warmers and all the action, texture and all of that, including the drivers coming back down and just being so happy that they made it all the way up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one right here, which is the 000 car.
Yeah, so that I actually shot in 2020. That was actually during the original race days. But obviously they canceled the race, or they moved the race back quite a bit. So what they did was they just let us rent the mountain for this shoot. And I was able to drive in a 718 Spider on the other side of the road, and I'm just hanging out over the windshield shooting this picture. I've always wanted to do a rolling shot on Pikes Peak, but you can't because it's illegal, you know, it's two-way traffic. But when you have the whole mountain to yourself, that's what I wanted to do.
You could
That's
build
awesome.
some kind of a rig.
Yeah, you could, but just on a whim.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
we're
yeah.
like, hey, let's do this shot real quick.
I got a fishing pole. You can use that.
What do they charge to rent the mountain?
I don't know.
Ask
It's a lot,
Lamborghini.
though. Yeah.
Right?
They have that new thing
Yeah,
now
now
where
you
you-
can
I
now
was
you
there
can
for
rent the
that.
mountain and set a time outside of the event.
Is it the American Nordschleife now, in that respect, you know?
I mean,
I don't think we have another one. You know, like if anything is going to be the American Nürburgring, I think that would be it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's the longest track, so to speak. It's got the most turns. It's the most challenging, and the terrain's the most varied. That's what the Nürburgring is known for.
It's also
and you've got the weather factor.
Yeah. And it's also, I feel like, probably the most well-known.
Oh, absolutely.
Unless you're
Yeah.
talking about, I mean, I guess like we have VIR or whatever, you know, they do lightning lap or something like that. But
Yeah, but I think this is it's just because the Nürburgring, in my opinion, because it's so long, it's like 13 miles or whatever. Like, there's no road course in America there's no road course in the world, frankly, that is anything like the Nürburgring. So this is kind of like the closest thing we have. It's a public road that turns into a racetrack. The only difference is the Nürburgring goes around and around, and this is a one-way trip.
Yeah. It was an awesome time, though. I thought, I mean, it's cool what happens. You know, the whole town kind of gets into it, and it's nice that it's over at 9 a.m. every day, so you can do shit in the afternoon.
I'm glad you guys came for the practice, because that's honestly my favorite time, and that's the time that you really get the best shots and the best content. A lot of people, when they come to Pikes Peak, they just come for race day, and they're missing out on so much good stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, we were at the start for race day, and so we were hanging out and recording and talking to folks, but you don't see much. I mean, frankly, the video coverage from the race is awful.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about what happens later. I mean, of course there are challenges, but like, you know, that's some fixed camera on a pole, and it's kind of flickering in and out, and, you know, a car goes by, and that's it, you know, and then 15 minutes later you hear that they've made it to the top, and so it's not like you can really watch the race. Like, we didn't find out about what's that dude Levi's, his rollover. We didn't find out about that until later, and that was like the moment of moments.
That was crazy.
Yeah, it was the sickest video ever. It was so wild. But you can't. I mean, maybe if it's less foggy, it would be better. But it's just it's without like helicopter coverage. Like, it's impossible to take the whole thing in.
Yeah.
Which is tough. That's the hard thing about it's like rally. You go at the stage rally, you hike out into the woods at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then
same thing with a Baja 1000 too.
Yeah.
You know, you really can't get a scope of how crazy it is unless you're following it from a helicopter.
Yeah.
If you're just watching it from the ground, it's like 2 seconds. You see the car come, or the truck fly by at 100 miles an hour, and then that's it. You don't see them again.
Yeah.
When you chase like a Baja team, are you in a helicopter the whole time, or do you go like chopper truck, or?
So I haven't really talked about this yet publicly. I actually quit flying in helicopters because of Kobe.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, you think about it, probably one of the most well-known athletes in the world, you know, very wealthy. He just had a bad accident. Doesn't matter his status or whatever, you know. I've flown a lot. I've chased 3 Baja 1000s from the helicopter, and we've had 2 very close near misses.
Whoa.
Near misses with what?
Power lines. And drones.
Fucking hell.
Power lines, drones, and one of the things I've said before is when we're following these cars, sometimes they'll kick up a rock from their tire and it'll hit our windshield.
That's
on the
fucking
helicopter.
crazy.
Yeah, and it's happened to us. That's happened to us. It's dangerous. It's too dangerous. I have 2 kids.
Yeah.
I cannot take that risk anymore. I just can't. I can't.
I understand.
Yeah. So, but with that said,
I flew on that helicopter once.
Yeah, there you go.
It was scary.
Oh, that exact one.
The one that Kobe died in. Yeah.
There you go.
Lamborghini flew us to thermal for the Urus launch on that helicopter.
I can't do it anymore. You know, and since that's happened, I've flown one time, and that was with a very, very experienced pilot, and we just did like a loop for one shoot, and that was it. And there was no power lines around. And I felt comfortable, but if we're gonna just chase wildly, I just can't do it anymore.
Well, in fucking
miles,
Mexico,
it's
like are there like laws down there?
Well, there's laws, but something we talked about for Drive on NBC, we went and drove with what is that? Like the Baja tourist thing, where you get to drive the buggies.
Wide open.
We drove with them, and we asked them about like EMS. We're sitting at dinner, going, "What's that like in the middle of the race?" And they said, "Oh, well, we're really happy now because there's like a ranch in the middle of the Baja 1000 that now has power and a sat phone." But in previous years, you just had to someone had to get out of there to call a helicopter to come and rescue you. So basically, emergency response is pretty damn slow because you're out in the middle of nowhere, right? So if you have a problem, God forbid, that's the second part.
Most of the big teams, they have a sat phone on them, and they have all their passports with them because they can call in a helicopter life flight and fly to America right away. Yeah. You know, there's just no point in trying to, whatever, go to Ensenada or, You know,
Well, because
you gotta go to San Diego.
if you're a hospital in Ensenada, how far is the flight to go just to San Diego? 15 more minutes probably, right?
Yeah, and plus it's just like logistically, it's just probably a lot easier. Your insurance, everything. If they need to operate, they'll do it right away.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's really gnarly. This year we followed one vehicle, and it was a Ford Ranger Raptor, right-hand drive, Australian market one.
This is what you were driving, or
No, we were
team?
chasing.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think some of my favorite vehicles, while the trophy trucks are cool, they're a little unrelatable. I like following the stock vehicles, and like the 1600s. You guys see the guys with the Volkswagen Bugs out there. They're just so cool, because they're chugging along, trying to finish this race in the allotted time, 36 hours. You have to finish the race. So there were a couple vehicles that I really liked, including there was a brand new LX 600.
That's awesome.
Lexus, the Lexus Land Cruiser, and it still had a stock windshield, still had AC, still had pretty much the entire interior from the dash and everything. Even the tailgate was still electronic. But they had like the crazy big tires, 37-inch tires. I posted this on my Instagram, and it just looks so cool. It's just that's a valiant effort, to try to finish.
Is that a privateer, or was that
like that one right there?
that
to the
blue
right.
thing?
Yeah, so that's what we were following, the Ranger Raptor.
Looks like it might be a little stuck.
Yeah, they did the whole race not getting stuck one time, and they got stuck in front of me, out of all places. Maybe because I chose a really good spot for them to get stuck in. But
what are they? Are they stuck in mud? What is that?
No, it's silt. It's just really deep silt.
Talcum
It's
powder.
just been churned up over time because the trophy trucks already went through here. This is actually in the morning, and we were tracking them the next morning. So they start on Friday. Saturday morning at 3 a.m., I woke up because I wanted to see their progress, and we realized that they were going so much faster than we estimated. So at 3 a.m., we left our Airbnb, and I just drove as fast as I could in my FJ down to this certain part of the race course where they get back onto the main road. And this silty area is close enough to the main road where we could it's like a quick hike just to get this spot. And we got there just in time. The sun came up just in time. And then they're actually my friends in there, Lauren Healy and Eric Davis. They're driving, and they're just like mad, but they're also like, "Hey, Larry," I opened their door right after this, and I did a trackside interview with them.
They were that stuck.
They were that stuck.
I guess there's no rules against interfering with a competitor vehicle.
Yes, see, look, I'm doing a selfie with them.
So how did they get out of there?
One of their crew guys came. I actually initially offered, if you watch my YouTube video, I offered right away. I was like, "Hey, my FJ's right there. I'll pull you out." And they said, "Hey, actually, our guy is coming right now. He's 5 minutes away, and he's going to pull us out."
Oh, okay.
Because I saw a path where I could drive, where I'm not on course, where I can get into position to tug them out.
And you could tow them from off the course.
I think, I don't really know what the exact rules are, but I know anytime they flip over or anytime they get stuck, it seems like the spectators just like to help.
Yeah,
and they just get them back on.
That's true, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but they actually ended up finishing in record time, in really, really good time. But you can
that
see,
Lexus
look at that.
is a fucking beast.
Whoa.
Stock
pretty cool.
windshield. Stock.
Is it lifted though? Lifted wheels, tires, cage.
I think it's lifted.
Yeah, it's
safety,
definitely lifted.
And
you could see the
if
cage.
if you look, if you scroll over to the other photos, you could see the back. They back halved.
So comfortable.
That's pretty sweet.
Look at it.
Oh,
Stock.
yeah, he's got the Alcantara steering wheel.
But look how much of the stock stuff is there.
Yeah, the wood grain.
Cup holders.
Yeah. It looks like the cup holder has a fire suppression button in it.
The
Power
Coca-Cola.
Oh, yeah, that's where the cup holder is. Yeah, cup holder is.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
That's
So
a
many
clean build,
screens.
dude.
Look at that. So they built a firewall because they need to put the spares and the fuel cell in the back. You'll see. I took a picture of that.
Oh, that rules.
How cool is that?
That's really cool.
It's just so. This is what I like. This is the obtainable kind of race.
It's probably a $400,000 truck.
Yeah, so I shot a LC200. This is a LC300, right? I saw a I shot an LC200 that was with these guys. It's the white one. I posted it right afterwards, and you can just kind of. It's just, to me, it's just what is interesting. You know, the trophy trucks are cool, but check out that Bronco too.
Oh, the Bronco with a half Bronco
Yeah,
trailer.
so that was a crusher
really
car.
early in. Oh, really?
That was a crusher car, and Ford, they actually, instead of just scrapping it, they back-halved it and they used it as a trailer.
That's pretty sick.
It has a fuel cell in it, 50-gallon, and it actually has like a gas pump.
Yeah, so it can fill up the tow
exactly.
vehicle. Right.
It could fill up. Whatever, the Ranger Raptor, whatever. How funny is it that it looks like a stock vehicle?
That's great.
From behind, it looks like
it looks. Yeah, it's just
that's a great.
Look at that.
That brings me back to like the Prowler days when you have the matching Prowler trunk.
Yeah,
that's very well done.
That's fucking sick.
And then was this?
Yeah, so that's the LC200.
Land
so
Cruiser? That
like I drive.
beast.
That's my daily driver essentially. You know, I have LC200 as you know, and it's still stock motor. Still stock so many things, and I just love that. I think
that's
it's
awesome.
The coolest thing.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Oh, they were next to each other at the stage start there.
So beastie.
That looks great.
Shoot, I would drive that every day.
That's a
on the
great
street.
looking vehicle.
Yeah.
So comfortable.
I drive that every day.
Oh, so we've eliminated the hatch on this one.
This one's a little crazier.
Yeah. Although I don't know, I think it might be crazier to leave the hatch and build inside of it. Is that a rear-mounted radiator? Is that fans or is that
those are fans for sure.
Fans? Yeah, rear-mounted radiator.
One tire. It's cool to see how like they did the tire kind of horizontal, and then the blue car had the two tires mounted vertically in the back seat. So everyone's got different ideas, you know.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Wow.
I like that one a lot. That's fucking sick.
Yeah, sorry for the audio only.
Go on Larry's Instagram. You don't have to scroll back very far to look at these super cool Land Cruisers from Baja.
Yeah. Oh, so if you scroll down a little bit.
If you've sworn off helicopters,
Yeah.
how do you follow in your own FJ now?
Well, this year we did a 3-team program. We had the FJ as one chase vehicle, and we had my Raptor Tundra. I called it Raptor Tundra because it's a Tundra that I built into a wide body version because Toyota never built a Raptor competitor, so I built my own. And it has 37-inch tires, bead locks, king shocks, all that. We use that and the FJ, and we also embed one person in the team in their chase vehicle, so that way we can get pit stops, and then I can hopscotch with the Tundra and the FJ, so we can
And you're driving on the tarmac, where the course intersects.
We're driving on the tarmac, and sometimes we have to drive off road. So we're tracking them when we can, or we're also doing estimated time of arrival. And we just kind of plot out our plan of attack that way. Depending on how fast they're going, we have to modify our plan of attack. And this year, it was a loop race, so it's a little easier for us to chase. And I think it was 800 miles, 850 miles. And we just chased as much as we could first day, Friday. I got a couple hours of sleep, and we just kind of did it in rotation. And then the next morning, 3 a.m., I got right back on it and started chasing again from sunrise all the way to them finishing at like 2:30 p.m.
Wow.
Yeah.
Aggressive.
Very, very, very fun. But it's definitely dangerous, because race vehicles, normal, they don't shut down anything. What people don't really understand about the Baja 1000 is there's no this is the race course and this is normal street. No, I've stayed at people's houses where the race course goes in front of their driveway. And you just have to, when you're pulling out of the driveway, you just have to watch out.
Oh my God.
I mean,
for
that's
the
just,
racetracks.
Do they at least tell people that
No.
there's a race coming by?
No. It is the public roads. Legitimately. And there's what they do to kind of limit incidents is they have speed zones.
Right.
Right. So if you're actually on the paved road, you have to go the speed limit, and it's GPS monitored. But as soon as you go off road, it's whatever, go as fast as you can. But what people don't realize is
Like
I
so
would say
much of
half of
Mexico
the roads
is off-road, and they're like
maybe
regular
more.
roads,
Yes.
but dirt.
Yes, maybe
Like,
more
the
than half the
definition of
roads.
off-road is like pretty loose in Mexico.
Exactly. And that's why I always say, look, if you've made it and you live in Baja California, you better drive a Raptor. Like that's what you drive, because that's the most comfortable thing to drive. You
Yeah.
know? Because not only are the paved roads terrible, the dirt roads are just so worn out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
we were just in Mexico a couple months ago, and we were in like Cabo. We weren't even in like random part of Mexico. We were in like the part where people go and spend money. And the roads were fucked.
They're
The paved
rough.
roads were super fucked.
Yeah.
We got picked up from the airport in a new Escalade, like the current gen Escalade. It was like the hotel's, vehicle. Yeah. And it was like it was a pretty new truck. It was the Nobu Hotel. It was a nice new Escalade, right? They got a pretty sweet setup down there. But the lights on the dash were fucking lit. It was mag ride failure, suspension failure, like this failure, and it was like, dude, Escalade cannot survive Cabo for 6 months.
just from airport runs.
Yeah, it's rough down there on a car.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you have a chance to see the new Gymkhana?
I didn't. I heard Zach watching it.
Ooh, boy.
It is.
It is amazing.
Yeah?
It's so
It
good.
is really good.
It just got released this morning, and which is great timing. So what I did was I uploaded all of my favorite shots, and I sent a link to Zach. But anybody who wants to check out those shots, just go to my website, larrychenphoto.com. I just put them up for everybody just to see. But Travis, he almost dies in this one.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard the
It
news.
sounds like a movie script. Like he almost died.
He
in this one.
actually almost died. He jumped from a 40-story building to start off the video.
In a car or
Base
just
jump.
himself?
Base jump.
Okay, base jumps, yeah.
And basically, the canopy or his parachute collapsed, like last minute. It was some wind, or the turn was too aggressive, or something, and he fell a couple stories.
Yikes.
And it was
Yeah.
such a loud sound. I'm never going to forget this sound. It was
What
in
did
downtown.
he fall onto?
He fell onto grass, and that's what saved him, I feel like. Because he fell so hard, he bounced 3 times, and he fell so hard that the sound it made, it sounded like a bomb going off. Like, from a distance. Like, I've heard, especially when you're, shooting King of the Hammers, if you're close to 29 Palms, you hear them shelling, practicing shelling and stuff. It sounded like that, but in downtown Fort Lauderdale. And it was so loud that I heard an echo off the buildings.
Yikes.
So he base jumped, thinking it would be a cool idea to essentially parachute down to the car, get in the car, and just launch the video, just start the video. Well, that accident happened, and it's just, it was insane.
Is it edited out of the video?
They show it in the video.
They showed it at the end, but here's what happens at the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the jump?
Yeah, so I'm like right in the trees, like to the bottom, and there's a shot, like the link I sent you. There's a shot from down there of him
go
with
to
the
that.
parachute opening and everything.
So they put the full clip at the end of the movie. Last week they were saying, should we put it at the front or the end? The front or the end. And it was a good way to get comments and stuff. But it was also like, do we want to start this video with someone falling onto the ground or end it?
The thing is,
Let me see where's the photo.
the joke that I have with people is like, when I look at Ken's videos and when I look at the stunts, most of the stunts I want to do. They look fun to me. But when I look at Travis's stunts, I don't want to do any of them because I feel like, I just would get hurt.
Yeah.
And obviously he did get hurt.
And
very bad.
There's a shot of him on a stretcher right
Yeah,
there.
And the base
like-
jump is crazy, but one of the jumps in a car in this is even nuttier than the one he did in the 2 Gymkhanas.
I don't know.
Like,
I feel like
it's-
that one was worse.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like that one was worse because of the proximity of the trees. He maxed out in his Subaru, 900 horsepower, whatever. He hit the jump at 165 miles an hour. But the thing is, he kept doing it. Like, he wasn't happy with the distance. So
On
he
this
kept,
Gymkhana?
How many
No,
times did he
the-
keep doing it?
I think he did it like 6 times. the one in 2020.
Oh, because
He jumped like 250 feet or something, and it was just on a 2-lane road that's just tree lined.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah,
jump.
any right or left variance at all,
Yeah.
he would have been gone.
Yeah, I remember
You know,
that jump.
and so
Well, this one he jumped at 163
that's it,
miles
right
per
there.
hour. But I guess you are correct. There was more room when he landed, but had something gone wrong at 163 as you land, like you're going pretty far off the road.
Yeah, and what's crazy is they didn't show this, but
What
in
a
my
photo.
photos you can show it. They actually had to pick up the car and move it back to the correct side with a barge every time because the bridge doesn't go anywhere. Because it was just like a bridge that went out like 30 years ago, and they never rebuilt it, and it just overgrew.
So they had to crane the
Yes,
car back.
There's
each
photos
time?
of it. Yeah. And it took the reset was, if you can imagine, took so long.
No, I can't imagine.
Yeah. If you scroll
Dude,
up, actually,
I once watched a taping of American Ninja Warrior. The reset on that is an hour. Forget a fucking craning a barge across or craning a car across the river.
Yeah.
Go up, keep going up. I saw
going up.
I saw the car being lifted by a crane if you keep going up.
Yeah, and that's really the thing is being on set with the Hoonigan guys and being on set with Travis. It's nice because
There's a car on a crane. Yeah.
I'm essentially doing my own storytelling.
So
you know?
that bridge goes to nothing.
Yeah. It's called this is in the Florida Keys. It's about maybe an hour from Key West, and it's called Boot Key. Mm-hmm. But the key, it just doesn't. The bridge is out. To get to the other side, we had to take boats.
Is there anything on the other side?
I think it's just a bunch of abandoned houses.
Okay, no one lives there or anything?
No, not that I know of. Even around there was a bunch of abandoned boats. Yeah, that's.
It seems like there's probably something there.
Yeah. That's it. That's
Maybe on the other side. Oh, I see. It's
think-
next to another part
I
of
think
the
that's
island.
the bridge that if you go to Google Street View.
Yeah,
This one right here.
No. Go to Satellite View.
yeah. That looks like there's a gap there.
Yeah, that's
this
it.
one.
That's it. Right there. Zoom in. That's the
Yeah,
that's
there's-
the jump. Yeah, that's it. It goes nowhere.
Oh man.
Yeah,
How
it's
crazy is
sketchy as
that?
fuck. Yeah.
Well,
when
Pastrana's
we-
what you get. You get, he wants to drive like Ken Block. They like the same kind of rally driving. But Pastrana already had the extreme sports, I'm going to be freestyle motocross rider brain. And you put those two together, and it's just like, he'll just push it.
Couple crazy things. After he did this jump, I think he did this 4 times. After he did this, he got in a helicopter and basically went to his next race, which was like the next day.
That's pretty. He's nuts.
Yeah, and then I think I told this story before, but when I watched him do the tree jump, I was like, why isn't his family here? Like, why isn't anybody watching? It's like a big occasion, right?
Not for him.
No.
Yeah.
He went to go home to have dinner afterwards, after that. And this, it's like just a normal day in the life of Travis Pastrana, you know? And I was just so happy to be able to, so that was with my remote camera. I set up 3 Canon R3s just on like rebar or like on a ladder or wherever I could find places to
clamp
mount cameras. Yeah, I just mounted it on the bridge that was out and just hope for the best when the helicopter came and when Travis came. They actually did a couple takes where the helicopter was moving, which was even crazier. Like it was
Is
just
moving sketchier than static?
I feel like it is because you don't know the height.
Yeah.
Like, how can you gauge the height if it's too high or too low?
I guess.
I mean, look-
yes, yeah.
This is look at this still photo. Look at this still photo. Like, how much space is that?
Not enough.
It's
Not enough.
probably
We're looking at the space between the bottom
6 or
of Travis's
6
car
feet, maybe.
That is
and the
close.
top of the
Yeah.
helicopter.
The margin of error is not there, dude.
Yeah, but the helicopter's below the pavement level. Like if
Yeah.
I was in, I mean, I'm not trying to take away from it, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying if I was in the helicopter, if I was flying that helicopter, I would be aware that I was below the pavement level.
Yeah, I think the thing that like I would be afraid of is like suspension failure or something
Right.
where the car doesn't actually reach full speed or something comes off the car as it's going over.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
What motor is in that fucking little thing? It's not a
it's
Subaru.
a 4-cylinder.
Is it?
It is a
Subaru motor?
It's built by Vermont Sports Cars. They build all the Subaru rally cars. Yeah, but they built an incredible car. Wait, after this, when you have some time, watch the video and you will see how much it gets beat up.
It takes a lot of abuse.
It takes quite the beating.
I mean, even for a Gymkhana car, it takes a lot of abuse. It's impressive.
Yeah, it is
in every way.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun, and these kind of shoots, are so good in that I'm just there to tell a different story. Like a lot of my angles, most of my angles are completely different from the actual angles that they shot.
Right.
In fact, you can see me in a lot of the shots.
How many days a shoot was it?
This one was split into 2 days because Travis almost killed himself, or two parts. The first part was like 4 or 5 days. I think it was supposed to be 5 days, and then he got hurt on the 4th day. And then the second part was, I think, a 4 or 5 day shoot also. Yeah.
That's impressive. Given the number of locations and tricks there are, it's amazing they can cram that into 5 days.
And like this trick itself was basically 1 whole day because of how long it took to reset the car, how long it took to get everybody ready. I mean, look at all those boats.
No, yeah.
That's like, I'm in that boat right there, the close one. That's where I'm shooting from the ground with my handheld camera, and I'm having the remotes up in my other hand, and I'm making sure that I trigger the cameras as they're coming. A lot of the other boats, it was like sheriff, fire department,
EMS
divers,
and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whatever, behind the scenes. Like, it was insane. It was 150, maybe 200 people on set for this thing.
Yeah, that's a big
Which is
group.
it's a very big production. This one, I'm really proud of because it's like the camera is hanging on a piece of rebar that's coming out of the bridge. And if it fell, it would just go into the ocean.
Yeah.
It's like we had to take a boat up to it, and I'm like, just hold the boat still.
Yeah.
Please. I'm going to mount this camera.
You need a little inner tube for it, like a little just in case.
Yeah. I'm going to crank it down.
It's a great shot, though.
As much as I can. You can see my friend Brian Moore up there on the corner. He's tethered in.
Yeah.
In case something happened. But like the remote cameras really was able to really set me apart from the other still photographers that were on set, and also just every other angle.
Sure.
Just to get something that is, for me, outstanding compared to the actual video. I mean, because the point is, I'm proud of it, and I want to promote what Travis and the Hoonigan guys are doing. I want to just, help do my part in making sure that this is in the best light possible, like portrayed in the best light, and also just to show how crazy it is. Like, look at the logos on the underside of the car.
Thoughtful.
Yeah, very thoughtful. Yeah.
Someone was like, "Hey guys, you're going to see a lot of the underside of this fucking car."
That would be the cheapest banner space to advertise in that car. Like, well, it'll only be seen in these 4 tricks and for about 2 seconds. But
but in the still photos, it'll look really
lasts
tack
forever.
sharp.
That's very true.
So the cool thing, I think the last time I was on here, I was telling everybody about launching the new camera, the Canon R3.
Right.
This camera, I actually used this one feature for these shots where you can, the shutter speed, because it's all electronic, you can go up to shutter speeds that I've never imagined you can shoot at, like 64,000th of a second.
Jesus.
Not 6,400.
64,000.
Yeah. Like, just
because it's not a real shutter, right?
No, it's just like a electronic blink.
Yeah.
That it's just taking information from, so it could take the small sliver, I feel like, faster than any physical shutter can move.
Yeah.
So that's how I was able to freeze
Is that like
this.
f/0.8? Like what?
No, well, I had to shoot wide open, but I had to shoot really high ISO, even though it was broad daylight.
Right.
Just to get enough light.
Right.
And even then, I had to bump it up after the fact. But the result is tack sharp rotors, tack sharp everything.
Yeah.
Even though he was going 165 miles an hour right there.
And that's like ISO like 100,000 or something?
No, it was ISO like 3,200 or 4,000 around
For
there.
broad daylight,
For broad
that's
daylight.
really
Yeah.
high. That's crazy.
Yeah. Even to the point where I had to take off the polarizer just to get a little more light.
Yeah.
Just bare glass.
How did you know that would work?
It's just I made my best guess. Because all of this, I guess everything I've shot up until now is just experience for moments like this. You know, because while it happened more than one time, it potentially could have only happened one time or not at all.
Yeah.
You just don't know, especially because this has never been done before. Who's done this before?
So you're obviously like machine gunning it, right?
Yes.
So because the shutter speed is so fast, is the refresh rate also crazy fast?
So it's interesting. Canon actually came out with a firmware that increased the refresh rate to 240 per second.
That's pretty fucking good.
After I shot this. So when I shot this was 30 frames per second.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
But-
you probably only have like the car even appearing for
Yes.
like 3 frames maybe, like, right?
Yeah, and the next one after this, it's out of frame.
The car's gone. Yeah,
and then
yeah.
the one before this, it's in the helicopter or whatever. You know, it's just not usable. And out of just this set, if you zoom out again, Zach, you'll see all the ones I was able to get from this one scene. Like if you go up, you could see, like those are my handheld ones.
Oh, there.
Like
There's the composite. The
I
composite
stitched
has
that
all
together.
of them. So that each of those is one frame.
Yeah, each one of those is one frame.
Yeah.
And
So yeah, from that low angle, you've really only got one
pretty
frame.
much.
Yeah, one frame. Yeah.
Yeah, and this 50 millimeter, I was on the boat and I just figured, you know what, this is my safety shot in case
At least the
cameras-
water's like nice and calm. That could have gone the other way, huh?
You could see my camera on the top of that ladder, that little black spot right
yeah,
there, with
yeah,
a
there
remote
you
on
can.
top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. It's
Pretty good range on those remotes. Like,
Yeah, and, you know,
200 feet.
sometimes because of interference, a lot of times when you're at racetracks, the range is just not as good because there's so much radio waves going around, whatever. But yeah, that's one of the things that you have to battle.
It looks like some people on the fucking party boat in the back are getting a nice view too.
Yeah, so that's
They're
the
chilling
crazy
back
thing
there.
is it's open. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just public. So a lot of people came out in their boats to kind of just hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people would just call their friends like, "Hey, we got this crazy Travis Pastrana. Like, they're doing this jump. You know, come hang out."
If you're in marathon, what the fuck else are you doing? Just hanging out is all you do down there. Yeah. That's pretty sick, dude. That's a great series of shots right there.
Yeah, and over the next couple days, I'm gonna just be posting more and more of these shots.
There's like you can't see it here, but there's obviously some kind of a kicker set up there, right, to clear that
Yes,
bridge.
yes.
Like,
Yeah, it's like
Otherwise,
a-
it would just go.
Otherwise you would
nose
just
in,
fucking
like
crash.
like the
like the bus
bus
in
at,
Speed.
on speed.
yeah.
They had a small ramp.
I don't know if
I don't know if it's shown.
I have a bunch of photos. Oh, right there. You could see it right there.
Oh,
That's the
yeah,
little
yeah,
kicker.
okay, cool.
They put
It's not
some
a very-
grass on it.
The grass,
Yeah.
the fake grass is
Yeah.
funny.
The set dress and the set design is just, it's incredible. Like all of that, there was actually a fence there just so the general public wouldn't just drive off the end of the bridge, you know, because it's just open.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, normally it's all fenced off, but they had to take all that off just for this
So the
shot.
jump isn't normally there.
Yeah. The city convinced them to leave the kicker. You never know.
So rad.
I drove up to the ramp in my rental car, and I was thinking, like, this is the craziest thing ever. I'm in the
fucking
driving
sketch.
seat. I'm in the driver's seat in my rental car to drop off cameras.
And you were like, I can make it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Does,
this whatever Nissan
I
Versa.
think I can do it.
does Travis have a second seat in that car? You want to jump in right seat and get some BTS?
Yeah, it's just so crazy. Yeah.
It'd be funny if Larry, you're like, I won't fly in helicopters anymore. They're like, we need you to get shots from in the driver's seat when Travis goes over the jump over the helicopter, and you're like, God damn it.
Yeah.
I can't escape it.
It's such, I mean, not the build. I'm not saying anything about the build of the car. The build is cool.
Yeah.
It's such an ugly car. The base
Yeah.
car.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a fucking, is it a
just a
Justy? I think it's a Justy.
I think it's
a legacy, right?
GL
Just a GL? Yeah.
wagon. Yeah, Subaru
It's a
GL wagon.
fucking ugly car, man.
Dude, look at the active arrow on the back, though.
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is
To level it out.
Deployed to level it out. That's so rad.
Yeah. You know what? But that look is coming back, right? I mean, for the longest time we thot Hachiroko's, A86 Toyota Corollas were ugly.
Speak
You
for
still
your
think-
damn self.
You still think, or do they? You
I
think
never
they're
thought a Hachi was an ugly car.
I thought it was horrible.
Really?
looking.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's
Oh
very
no,
pretty,
I
but
always
they're
liked
fun.
those shapes cars, the Isuzu Impulse. I always liked that shape car because it kind of goes back to Giugiaro and the DeLorean and the Lancias from the 80s. I like those shaped cars. I did not like early Subaru. Early Subaru doesn't
that
do it
doesn't
for me
remind
at
you
all.
of that.
Not really, no.
That kind of looks like a Volvo, like a 740.
Totally.
in the
740.
front,
Ugh.
or
This is-
like
this
a
is
740 is a way better looking car.
I
than that.
disagree. I think the opposite. I think this is better looking than a 740. I do.
Really?
They're both boxes.
At least
They're
the
both
hatch is angled on this thing. The 740 is
I'll
just
take
vert.
a 740. This Volvo wagon is cool. I don't
Those are
think these are
different.
cool.
Good looking and cool are different things.
Like
I think
I
I
mean,
think the
yes,
86
that's
is
true.
cool and exciting, and I like it because I know what it represents in terms of driving. But if I just had to pick a shape to put on the wall, that probably wouldn't be it.
I just know when I started playing Gran Turismo way back when, especially in Gran Turismo 3, I think they gave you like just 20,000 credits or something, and you could buy a couple things. I think the 86 was the only thing that you could buy that could compete.
Yeah.
And I looked at this car and I was like, why would anyone drive
Forget
this car?
what was the
know?
free car? What was the free car that you got
Hurt
in Gran
his kiss
Turismo?
right
No,
Miata?
with that said, obviously it's turned the corner, and I love that car. I think it's great. Of course, gone are the days by far for a $500 A86.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, now they're just so expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't make shit like that anymore.
No,
Light
no.
and fucking rear wheel drive and FUD.
Well, I mean, the GR86 I feel like has a pretty good essence of it.
Sure. Yeah, okay.
29,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not it does ish, but there used to be a lot of those.
Right.
I mean,
You're
there
right.
used to be, remember like in the 90s, you'd open like a car magazine and it would be like sporty coupe comparison test, and there'd be like 15 cars in the thing. You'd have
Yeah.
like, some of them were front wheel drive, some were rear wheel drive, but like there used to be so many, and now there's a very limited
Now it's sporty crossover. comparison.
number. Yeah, right?
It is.
Yeah. I have a hard out at 1:30 or 2:30, so let's go to the Patreon if it exists.
Oh, we have many.
Okay, cool. We'll try and get through as many of these, of course, if you want to
I'll try
ask.
to be quick.
Huh?
I'll
No,
try to be
it's
quick, please,
it's somebody was late. If you want to get in the Patreon, I don't give a shit. It's just is what it is. Of course, patreon.com/the Smoking Tire Podcast to ask questions of our guests. Miles Lark, best basic piece of advice for anyone trying to use a camera.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, do by doing.
Yeah. Do by doing. Keep it with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best camera's the one you have on you.
Yeah. Could be
That
your cell
too.
phone.
Yeah. I've seen I'm starting to see photos from like the newest iPhones, and they're very sick. Like they're just very good. So
Yeah.
use that. Use whatever. Tom Rosenbaum says, Larry, does the new Z have a potential place in your personal collection? I love the work you've been doing with the new Z, and I'm saving for a print.
The new Z is a good car. It's something that I don't want to ruin yet. I think maybe I'll wait a little bit because I have two Zs right now. I have my 350Z drift car, and I have my 240Z. They serve their purposes. If I get a new Z, I feel like I'd tear into it right away and I'll ruin it.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't want to do that just yet. I'll kind of let everybody get theirs first, and then.
But didn't you drive the one that had all the Nismo dealer installed parts on it?
I didn't get to drive it. I shot it.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Yeah, I've shot pretty much all the Newsies. Like most of the colors. I've shot the GT4 race car, and I shot their Nismo parts car, and of course Chris Forsberg's crazy drift car. Yeah.
Tom also says, do you still shoot any film?
Yeah, I still shoot film for fun. I shoot a lot of instant film now. If you want to look up a fun set, I actually shot a set of Matt's car, the Thanks IRS, what is it, the Fox body, right? I
That was on
that.
35 millimeter.
Yeah, I shot that on 35 millimeter, and that was kind of a fun thing. It was just old car, old cameras, and yeah, I think it came out pretty cool.
I shoot a little bit of film once in a while as well. It's a good time. I like going back to my Pentax K1000.
It slows you down, and it's a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah.
I feel like. Yeah.
I keep seeing people up at car shows with like medium format and large format cameras and Polaroid and stuff. So there is an opportunity.
Yeah.
Michael Cosgrove, is there any? I feel like you ask this every time you're on the show. What event would you most like to shoot that you haven't had the opportunity to shoot yet?
You know what? Dakar would be sick. Like the actual race would be awesome. There's a lot of other races like Monaco, F1, and stuff like that. But I feel like in terms of epic and just imagery that you can't get anywhere else, I think Dakar would be really cool.
Does anything? It seems like dirt races. It's easier to capture like speed and action because there's material flying around. Whereas F1, it's like unless the cars are loose, crashing, something like that, or sparks. I mean, it's just hard to see like they are going fast right now.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I like about off-road is because it's not 2D in that it's not just left and right. It's also up and down. And there's that dynamic of the suspension movement and, of course, jumping. And also on top of that, you have to capture the car and you have to capture the rooster tail that comes with it. That becomes part of the car and becomes part of the action. Yeah.
Offshore powerboat racing.
Ooh, yeah. See,
hydrofoils.
I haven't shot that.
Travis does that.
Yeah,
stuff
Travis
too.
does that.
Sailboat racing. This one seems to come up every time too. Sarang. What specific hardware are smartphone cameras lacking that cause them to be poor for capturing car proportions and angles in still shots? Or too wide of an angle.
It's just the limitations in size, right? So because of the size of the phone and the camera, the lens has to be small, the sensor has to be small. I think it's not very good at correcting its perspective. Even if you're shooting like a 24 mil or 28 mil, I feel like it just, like you mentioned all the time, it bows out at the end because it doesn't correct the perspective of what's happening, And a lot of times now, even with the cameras that I have now, with the best lenses, you have to correct the perspective later in Lightroom or Photoshop.
Whoa.
It's just the way glass is,
Yeah.
It's just not perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's scroll down a little, Zach. Let's see if we will come back to that one if we have to. Greg Scott, we can save the GR Corolla question for when we cover that on our review on the next cruise show. We've been driving it all morning, but we don't want to give it away because it's fucking awesome.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's great fun. Are you going to get one of those?
Maybe. I'd love to build one, especially with Toyota. That would be a lot of fun. But, man, is it fun to launch.
Yeah, they're great. Let's see. Prashan says, I'd love to be a fashion photographer one day. I don't really know where to start. I'm putting in a lot of work that is going nowhere, but I'm having fun doing it. Tips for beating procrastination. Well, if you're putting in a lot of work, you're not procrastinating.
Yeah, there's a lot there. I think, as long as you're having fun, just keep doing it. If you're not having fun anymore, then what's the point in doing it, But especially, I feel like car photography, fashion photography, you just have to be outstanding. You have to be extraordinary. And if you're not, you just have to put in more hours and you have to be more personable and meet more people.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who want to take pictures of cars and women.
Yeah.
You're not alone in that. It's not breaking new ground. John Blackburn says, thank you for the recent update on Nakai-san. Do you have any desire to film an RWB build? Whatever happened to Crispy Media that did a bunch of them?
It's interesting to me for sure, but I feel like it's been done so much. Unless Nakai works on a different car that hasn't been done before, then that's when it's interesting.
I feel like I saw, he did some, I saw RWB windshield banner on something that wasn't a Porsche recently.
Really? I mean, he's done other cars.
I wonder what it was.
Here's the thing, though. Like, he is so backed up right now. I mean, because Japan closed off for so long, I think he's like 200 cars behind. So
never. You're just never getting.
Whoa. Who knows? I mean,
200
That's
cars.
a lot.
Yeah,
he does it
that's
all
a
himself,
lot.
right?
Yeah.
Well, if you want it named, he gives it a name, which still to this day, my favorite name is Spearmint Rhino for one of the cars. It's a Japanese priest that drives around in a convertible white Spearmint Rhino 993, I think.
Does he travel to Vegas a lot for work?
I guess so. I don't know. But
I came up with this name when I was at SEMA last year.
yeah.
Wow.
Dylan Riley wants a good starter camera and lenses for under $750 for general and motorsports photography. $750 is not much money if we're talking about camera and lenses.
Well,
Craigslist.
I think the used market, eBay is good. The Rebel series is really good. That's actually what I started with. Back then, when I first started, the Rebel was $1,000 with the body and the lens. Yeah, but
we bought Mark II bodies for like $600.
Yeah, there you go.
And also, you can, if you get lenses where you can start with a relatively inexpensive body and then get better bodies, but not have to throw the lenses away and start over. That helps too.
Yeah, right now the crop bodies, the 1.6 crop factor bodies are so good, and if you just kind of work on that over time, just get better using those bodies, that works.
Clinton Cassatin says, I glued my CPL filters to my smartphone cases for the past 3 years. Am I a monster?
No, that's very smart. What I usually do is I use my polarized sunglasses, and I just shoot through those.
I've done that a bunch.
I'm saying if the reflection's that bad, know, and you just don't show the true color of the car until you do that, but that's a good idea. That actually makes sense. Yeah.
Jorgen Moeller with new social media trending to video. How are you adapting? I'll add vertical video.
We do just as much video as photo. I mean, one of the big things that we do is our YouTube channel. And it's just kind of a way for people to see how the meat is made. And it's just, adds to our credibility. It's our voice. As you know, we've had this discussion so many times. When we put up videos that we like, they may not get the views, but it's more for ourselves, and it's also the right views, and it's also for historical purposes. Yeah.
Last one before we get out of here. Brian Lewis says, tell me about the weekend in Bristol with Cletus. What was going through your head during the crash?
I was just upset. So Cletus invited me to drive the Bristol 1000 and shoot it. So I drove the race that I shot in. It was rough, without a doubt. Not so much the crash itself. The crash was hard, but I didn't get hurt or anything. I was just upset that people would push so hard early and not even give people like myself a chance, because I'm a photographer, I'm not a racing driver. But when I get to drive in a race, it means a lot to me. It's a lot of fun. I brought my family out to watch and all that, and then for somebody to get so greedy on lap 14 out of 100, it just upset me, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was everyone just driving? Were they just driving like the cars were utterly disposable, or was it?
Well, so it was a battle for second, I think, but third place hit second place, which hit first place, and it basically took out more than half the field. It took out.
Sucks.
Yeah, like 10 cars.
Is it Haley Deegan?
Yeah, so Haley Deegan
gnarly.
hit so hard that her seat broke.
Yeah, it's really
she said
scary
it's
video.
probably one of the hardest hits she's ever gotten.
Wow.
So guy in third place just took her into the wall.
Yikes.
And we just didn't. I was having fun. I was passing people. I was enjoying myself. And as soon as I rounded the corner, the problem is I couldn't stop because these people didn't just like slam on the brakes. They stopped by hitting the wall, which is whatever mile an hour to 0.
Yeah.
And there's just nothing you can do. You can't stop. So that's why it took me out, took Finnegan out, took Cletus out, took so many people out in one go. Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for bringing us all these gifts today.
Yeah. I hope you guys
Type
can use
S.
them.
Shout out. We got a dash cam.
Yeah.
We've got this LED panel. What is that, a jump box?
Yeah, you
Jump
have so
start?
many
Gotta
cars
have
here.
those.
If something's really stubborn and won't start, you could use this. But yeah.
And that what's the fridge called?
So the fridge, it's called the Blizzard box.
It's basically an electric cooler.
Yeah, so it's comparable to like a Dometic refrigerator that you put in a RV or your truck or whatever overlanding vehicle, you know. But the point is, we actually use it for parties. When we're hosting parties, we put all the drinks in there, and you don't have to buy ice.
It's awesome.
And it doesn't make a mess. You know, you don't have to pour out the ice afterwards, doesn't drip all over the place, and it stays very cold.
That's awesome.
You just have to be careful to set the temperature to not freeze everything in there.
Yeah.
So
I've done that with ice before. Where it's like, I need all this ice. And you have a block of fucking drinks.
Yeah, so you could just dial it in.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys want to follow me, can I do the plug?
Yes. All the things.
If you
Larry
guys
Chen
want
photo on Instagram with an F.
Yep.
F-O-T-O.
And then if you want a signed print, every single time I come on this show, oh my God, so many people buy prints. Last time I was on the show, I sold 100 prints.
Really? Yeah. Oh man, go to Larry's website and buy prints. They're very affordable.
LarryChenPrints.com. Right now I'm doing a Magnus thing where he's actually signing prints that I'm doing with Magnus. So
nice.
That's a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
And the last thing before we end is my wife would like me to make the announcement that there is a critical shortage of platelets right now. My brother-in-law has cancer, and so this motherfucker goes through a lot of platelets, and so we know about the shortage of platelets. So if you can, if it's the kind of thing you would do, you know, rather than blood specifically, platelets are in dire need in Los Angeles area
in the whole
hospitals
country,
right now.
I think she's saying.
Whole country?
And if you're in LA, you can go to John's hospital and say you want to donate specifically to John.
You can, yeah. You can donate to John Stein at City of Hope if you're in Los Angeles. That would be very helpful. All right, that's our show. Thanks for coming in, Larry.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate all these gifts you brought us. Thank you. Zach, what is it on the schedule next?
Byron Bowers coming next week.
Monday. Byron Bowers on Monday the 12th. He's got a brand new comedy special out.
Hulu.
On Hulu, and he's bought a new Overlanding Cayenne. It's badass. Really into that one. And this week, I'm going to Vegas on Thursday to drive the Artura, and I will have a report when I return. Thanks, everybody. See you later.